So, first of all, I'm so happy to see that 80% in here are believer in gifts. That's a good thing. Because I feel like we all kind of had the innate ability to connect to the other side. That is where we come from. And people that are more open are able to do it a lot easier than people that are closed off. So, basically, I've been doing this for about 10 years. I had I had another channel and it got hacked and I had to start all over. So we started all over from scratch a couple years ago. And I've been doing readings ever since. I'm kind of drawn to the true crime genre for whatever reason. I think it happened growing up watching Columbo, wanted to kind of be a detective, but I just do it just a different way. So there's been a lot of things that wow me. And so it's not like this is the only case that I've been accurate on. I constantly try to prove myself because, to prove that someone's legit, like you got to be consistent with it. Because I have a lot of people come at me and they're just like, well, you only got a name. Well, you only got this. But they're not watching everything. And they're not watching because I've had people come on where I've given mediumship readings to that I've never met before. Knowing things that there's no way I could possibly know. And again, I've had clients for the past 10 years where I've done the same thing. I wouldn't continue to have clients if it, if it wasn't something that I was legit doing. So I would definitely not ever pretend to be something that I'm not. I have integrity with it, and I always just give what spirit gives me. So with that being said, people who understand kind of how readings work, I'll just explain real quick. So a lot of times in readings, people just think that everything is focused on the main person, right? But we can get information on stuff that is connected to that person, on people that are connected to that person, which can kind of make things a little bit confusing. So I've been on this case since 2017 when it happened. The weird thing is I walked into a pharmacy. I had been told about it before, but I kind of just it was high profile. I wasn't really going to touch it. I kind of let cases find me because I'm not going to ever be able to help everybody that I want to help. I know I'm only supposed to work on the ones I'm supposed to work on, and so I was standing in a pharmacy of all places. And, when you think back now about the whole pharmacy connection, so I was standing in a pharmacy of all places and, it comes on the news. And so I started getting these flashes and I said, well, here we go. So not long after that, I did my first auto write, and back in auto write 1, I actually got the name Alan and Kagan in the very first auto writes, as well as Walmart, which is kind of weird. So there's a lot of connections that I actually got right away that wasn't really clicking. And back then when I did auto writes, I didn't understand how they worked, so I always tell everybody not everything is going to match with an auto write to that case. I get past, present, and future, and we're noticing that the stuff that I got in those auto writes, there's 10 of them, is connecting to cases that are happening now. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you've seen the auto writes, it's about timing, right? So the stuff is breaking with Delphi. Now we're going to see some other stuff happen with the auto writes that are going to be kind of mind-blowing. For instance, I had gotten the name like Daniel Boone and Barbara Bush, and it came in separately. But we have this poor girl Boone Bush, that was kidnapped. So that was an odd coincidence, and then Aaron Carter. Aaron came in multiple times in the Delphi auto writes. Singer-songwriter did, as well as Lancaster came in the last reading that I did. So it's kind of weird. Like I see the connections now, but when I did them, 5 years or so ago, I didn't understand that. I just thought I was channeling everything that I was trying to connect the girls, and I was channeling everything for them. So when we did, I think it was as we kept going with the auto writes, I realized that other things were clicking from other cases. So you guys have to keep that in mind when you go back to the auto writes. Yes, a lot will fit, like her name, and it's all in how we perceive the information, right? How we understand it. So like Janice came in, that's Alan's Alan's mom, Johnny, I think is her brother. Like there's names that came in that is specific. It's not like I just throw a bunch of names out, because I always tell people like names are literally the hardest thing to get. Why? I don't know. They just are. And so, you know, I decided to kind of stop the auto writing. You know, I did it on a podcast and everything. Like we put it out there, and I started getting attacked by the dark. I feel like there's a lot of dark around this case, like extreme darkness. And so I stopped for a while. I picked it back up in 2019, which I thought I was going to do my last reading on, which I went through last night in like the second part of it. And I'm like, holy crap. Like there's so much here that fits the person now in the second part. You know, the apocryphy, I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's the potion and the medication, the prescription bottles, like, you know, the Matt, like that's short for Matthew, right? So there's a lot that came in that reading. I don't understand the connections for the rest of the reading though. Like I don't understand it. So then I tried again in 2022, and that's when I first got Richard. And then I said, well, I kind of felt pulled to work on it one more time. And I had started working differently. I was no longer typing anymore. I mean, I type, obviously. I do my private readings that way, but I was no longer, I feel like when I do crime that way, I bring in a lot of interconnects and it can make it a little confusing. So I decided to do the reading in May of this year. And I mean, that's when I ended up getting his name. And I'm as surprised as you guys are, because I didn't remember I got it. If you watch that, I'm like I look like I'm high, honestly. And I think it's just because I'm channeling. Like I go back and you could tell I'm tired, and you can tell I'm just in it. And, you know, people are like, oh, you threw a bunch of names out. But Rodney and Nick, I mean, Kylie Rodney, you know, I get future stuff. So, you know, sometimes depending on the timing, the future things will happen. And, you know, Nick was the one that found her. Now Nick can fit in here as well, but sometimes things fit multiple cases. So, you know, getting his name was one thing that I was just as surprised as you guys were. I kind of just did the reading and left it. Because it's one of those things, like, even if you turn it into law enforcement, like, they're not going to listen. They're not going to listen. With law enforcement, you really got to prove yourself. I mean, some of them do work with psychics, but you have to have a reputation for them to listen. So that's kind of my journey on Delphi. I've been working it a long time. And again, readings can have, you know, connections. Like I say, I don't get as many interconnects when I do the channeling this way now, but I still get them. That's just the way I work. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it has a thing to do with foresight or not. I also, you know, I do world events, and the stuff is happening that I've predicted. So it's one of those things where I even get mind blown sometimes. But I always try to give what spirit gives, and I always try to just go where I'm guided. And my whole thing is to try to give victims a voice. That's why I do what I do. Because I feel like I'm not here to solve cases. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to put the information out, and hopefully it gets taken to, you know, another level, like the cops listen or whoever listens, or it's just validated from the other side when an arrest or something happens, right? So that's kind of how I have to kind of explain how my readings work. And I can get past, present, or future. Things can be symbolic. They're symbolic a lot of the time. And sometimes they have multiple meanings. And, you know, sometimes I use my references, experiences, or how I relate to something to try to explain exactly what they're trying to say. So, you know, we keep that in mind when I'm doing readings. And I always tell people, like, this is, you know, for entertainment purposes only. Is no way fact what I tell you guys. It's just my psychic medium impressions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull up. I'm not going to look at the chat, guys. So I'll try to answer questions at the end just because it's distracting. So I'll take off the private. I've already cleared and everything. I've got to pull up a picture. You know, when I did that reading in May, I concentrated most on Libby. Libby seems to be the spokesperson. She's the strongest. Abby's a little more standoffish. So I'm gonna just try to reconnect to Libby. I think it's a lot easier to reach out to one than it is two. Although in my auto rights I reached out to also the Iowa girls. I felt like there was some kind of connection there. And I've always kind of said that. So it's interesting that that's coming up now. So let me just pull up her picture because I work off of pictures to dial direct. So, all right. And I know they're always together, but I'm kind of just going to zoom in on Libby, see if I can, trying to get a good picture here. I don't know why. She's just the one that communicates the easiest. And I've asked her to please give me some good information tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I cannot promise anything, guys. Okay, I cannot promise. And I always say that. I cannot promise. I cannot promise. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. And hopefully I'm not led by anything that I already know. And I'm not really sure what else she has to say. Because, again, she did come to me last week as I was driving home and said that she wanted me to do another reading, and then this happened. So I'm just going to see what the heck she has to say. Say it like that. And I scribble when I do this. It kind of puts me like in a meditative state, I guess is the best way to describe it. Just give me a minute as I'm connecting. The one thing I am getting, which is kind of weird, is she's blowing out birthday candles on a cake. Now, I don't know if this is a celebration for what's going on or if she's talking about her birthday coming up, which it's weird that she's coming in with that. And again, they might give information on themselves to kind of validate. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so I hear the words, yeah, caught him. But she also, again, goes back to showing me what she showed me before with a web, like a spider web. And I get the word connections. She also keeps taking me to the computer, to that profile, which was something, I picked way back up before you found anything out about it. But it's weird. This is kind of a weird vision she's showing me. So she takes me back to that computer, but she shows me a computer, but she shows me multiple people sitting down at that computer at different times. And it might not be that specific computer, but it's symbolic for maybe multiple people using that profile. But she says, I get the same thing. And I don't know, again, I don't know if this is going to be like a connected to more people or if it's just going to bring light on the fact that I've always said there's a ring connected to this, which is kind of where I think she's going with this because of the spider web. And I'm making a circle around connections on my paper right now for some odd reason. think there's things about this guy that we don't know. It's one of those, like, he's not who people thinks he is. It really comes in like there's more to him than we know. Like, I always get double life, and that I'm getting that again. Like, there's a double life that he has led and is leading. But for some reason, she keeps telling me one more. Like, there was one more there, which is weird because it kind of doesn't make sense to me, but she keeps going like this, like one more, like she's giving me that. I'm not really sure what the candy connection is. She's giving me candy. I don't know. Like, I see like a candy shop with candy. I really don't know what that means. I don't know if it's symbolic or something, but she's giving me candy for some reason. So my chest is hurting really bad now all of a sudden. I can't take, I'm having a hard time taking a deep breath. I'm feeling a little nauseous as well. She keeps taking me back to the bridge. I keep seeing him walk down it, and I know it's an obvious thing, but I can't help what I'm being shown, and I don't know why she's showing me that. His shoes. She's talking about his shoes. I don't know if there's evidence on his shoes. If they have his shoes, there's something related to the shoes or the boots. Because I get that the ridged boots that's coming before, it's coming in again, like they're important for some reason. And I'd be curious if there's not some kind of link again to RL, because that's coming in. And I don't know if she's just linking that because of the property, like it happened on his property, which is obvious, but it feels like there's a bigger link there, and I don't really know what it is. This feels, I hear the word bigger. It's bigger than just this guy. Although I do feel strongly, like, because she says got him, I feel like he's the one on the bridge, allegedly. His energy matches that person. Like, that comes in pretty strongly, which I've been saying, like, his energy matches, and there's a lot of information I've gotten that matches him. So I definitely feel allegedly that he's the right guy, especially since they gave me his name. So that there's something bigger with this church. I'm not really sure. I mean, I know he lived by one, but that's coming in again, but it's more like members of the church, or there's something bigger that connects to the church, which is like super odd, I know. I get that word. I get that word brotherhood again. I get that all the time. I get that literally all the time. And it's repetitive, the far and wide remark. Again, though, I feel like this connects to not only, and this is what she's giving me, not only like a ring, but it's like other crime and things. I'm not really sure why I get that. Like, if there's people that are connected to this ring that are connected to, like, because I always get, like, besides his work, there's another link to, like, drugs that comes in, money that comes in. Why she keeps telling me one more? But who's the one more? Okay, so when things repeat, I just say them. Like when I say names. Okay, so names, like I said, they can be connected to other cases, or they can be connections or here. But I keep hearing the name Steve, and I don't really know why that name's coming in. First, middle, or last, but that name's coming in. And if I don't say it, it will repeat. So I'm just gonna say it. I've heard that name a lot lately, which is weird. There's a Bob or Bobby that comes in, which I know Richard is the same thing. I'm not really sure. It's weird because they show me this guy, and then it's like they draw a line, like there's a link. I don't know. It's all really confusing, honestly. And I feel like she's shielding me from stuff. Like there might be some things like she doesn't want me to say or doesn't want me to know, because it feels like when I try to go into this other person, I feel like he's got dark hair though. Like that comes in like almost a black. It's either dark brown or black. It's pretty dark when I try to get into who's the dark-haired person. It's weird. Like I feel like they're gonna this is gonna connect to other things. Like I keep going back to that profile and stuff. Like and that's kind of always been something that the girls have always kind of said. Like but I hear the words come to light. Like there might be some more stuff that comes to light about this. I hear the words lesser sentence, but I don't know who that's pertaining to. And then she gives me the number 3 and she circles it. And I've gotten that before. Like maybe 3 people that are connected to the profile that knew what happened, that know more. I hear the word shady past. Now, I don't know this guy, if she's saying this guy has a shady past, but it might be under a different name, because I've always gotten aliases and he does have a few. So I'm just wondering, like, this guy isn't who we think he is. Like, I know most people think that's how it comes across anyways. I could be perceiving that wrong. But, you know, most people just think that he's just like a pharmacy guy that just decided to do this one day. But I keep getting like there's a lot of darkness in him. And it may have been Like he's really good at hiding it, because I get that like he could be two different people, which has always come in a lot. I hear the words, I want to say something to my family. I love you. So it's just something that she wants to say. I get the words judicial system, but I'm not really sure what she means by that. I'm not really sure about that. Getting kind of a huge headache now, which is just feeling spirit. Again, I hear ritual, which I've gotten before. But it's weird. I don't really understand why sometimes, like, I always feel like I'm kind of taken away from the scene and then brought back, like, at nighttime. I don't even know if that makes sense, because I don't feel like this doesn't feel like something that was committed in the middle of the day, which is weird, because I've always gotten, and it's coming in again, like my hands are tied, or something like that. Like I feel like she always shows me that they're tied up for a certain amount of time. I still get links to the dead, which is so weird. And I don't know. I don't understand that. I've never understood that, because I literally can hear his name in my head, and I'm not really sure why she's saying it. I get the name Andy. I also hear the word business. If it comes in like there's more to this. Like there's a bigger story. It doesn't feel like, I hear the word planned, followed, even like stopped, like stopped. And the bigger thing might just be like what this profile connects to and how many other people use it, or that kind of scenario. That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out, if there is more than just him at the bridge, which she keeps showing me one more, but I don't know what that means. And I keep seeing somebody with dark hair, but I don't get a good look at him. It's kind of very like his face is blurred out for some reason. I don't really know why. Like there's a real darkness in this guy, and it's again, it's like he's good at hiding who he really is. And again, it feels like he's connected to other things throughout his life that were very that maybe no one really knows about. I get like a serial killer vibe, but I don't know if that's because he could be like he wanted to be one, or he like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he actually is one, or it's something that he like planned, or I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like he got off on the, and I still get the word message. Like, there was a message to all this because of the brutality of it. But it's almost like show me the flash of a knife again. I always get something on the handle of the knife because it's a specific knife. Almost, it kind of reminds me of a hunting knife. Like, it has like a serrated edge to it. So I get that a lot. I don't know why I get DNA. Not really sure about that. I don't know if it's that's going to lead to someone else or something. I'm not really sure. And I've always gotten like more than one weapon, like a gun and a knife that's always come in. Like, the gun is more for a control thing, but this was very personal. And I feel like this pent up like sexual frustration. I hope I'm allowed to say that. I also get the word rejection, which I've gotten before. I don't know who that other person is and why I'm picking him up. Because she keeps saying it's the right guy. But there's, again, this other guy I keep seeing with dark hair, which I've gotten someone with dark hair in the May reading. So, it's kind of weird. I don't know if this is going to be done for them. But I get this kind of like, sometimes I get a bench if there's an actual bench or it's a memorial, but I keep getting a bench. But what's weird is it's like there's a heart in the middle, and then I have Libby's name on one side and Abby's name on the other. So I don't know if that's something they're going to do. And it might be at the bridge because she takes me back to the bridge. So let's hang on to that because that might be something that gets done. So she gives me the word guilty, and she has me circle it. So again, I definitely like allegedly feel like this, but there's so much with this guy that like we don't know or understand. Like, he's super dark, which I've always picked up. Like, I think that's why his eyes look different sometimes. But he's almost like, you know, he kind of reminds me of like Ted Bundy. How Ted Bundy was like charming and like nice, and like you would never ever think. And then there's this other side that is just like raging to get out. So that kind of comes in. Like, this is a huge rejection thing. Or it's almost like I feel, and this is kind of an obvious thing, but Libby kind of reminds me of his daughter. And I kind of get that link, which is like really weird and odd. But he's got some weird like fetishes stuff. And I always get that lawyer like with the suitcase or with the briefcase walking into court, and I really don't know. That's something that comes in, but again, they go back to the church, and the church gets repeated so much. I just don't know if there's some kind of something in this ring, like people from the church, or it's bigger than I hear the word more than meets the eye. Okay. I'm not going to say what I just saw. It's... I'll try to describe it as gentle as I can. Behind her, the slashing and blood. So I'll just... That's... That I've never seen that before, but I've always gotten the idea of it, but she just showed it to me for some reason. Like someone went behind her and did it. Like I don't think it was done from the front. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I always feel like I'm tied up. Or at least my hands are tied or something like that. Which is weird because it's weird. Like I get a backpack, like almost like a murder kit. And it feels like it's hidden somewhere prior. I've never gotten that before, so that's kind of interesting. So I'm asking, like, why didn't he get rid of the evidence? Because I feel like there's evidence that was found. It's relive sick fantasy sort of thing. He's arrogant. I don't think he ever thought anybody was going to get caught, get onto him. But then like I said, there's links to like, it feels like there's links to like drugs and GK and that like Kokomo Boys group. Like I get that. And I don't really know what the links is. And I've always gotten that. But again, I don't know if it has to do with like a grooming type thing and like a sex trafficking type thing. Like that kind of vibes comes in, and that might just be what's connected to the, like it might not be connected to their murder specifically, if you know what I mean, but connected to the profile and the people working off that profile. Like I feel like there's multiple profiles that are very similar to that one that multiple people use, but this guy, I get like a big like rejection and fantasy type of vibe. I don't know what the one more is, and I don't know who the like dark black haired guy is. I don't. It's like I keep picking up son and son-in-law, but I know he has one, and I don't know if that's what they're trying to show me. I don't know if he connects to anything. I'm not saying he does. I keep hearing those words, and I'm not really sure. Do I feel like Kagan and him know each other? Yes, definitely. I feel I feel like he's the one that gave him up. Like that's how it's always come in. There's something with July of next year that comes in, or next year specifically. It's like I get the beginning of the year and then it goes down to July. I'm not really sure why, but then I also get like December and Christmas time because I see Christmas lights, which is usually either December or Christmas time, but I get that. So I get this, she showed me this several times, but it's like, you know, the board, and then they put like the red lines that connect to things. Like the cops do that. Like I keep seeing that. And I've seen that a couple times. So I'm not really sure what she's like trying to say about that other than the connection things. I feel like people knew about this. Like it comes across as like people knew about it. Like maybe even that might be why I'm getting like the Kokomo Boys and get GK and all that. Like they might have known who he was or known about it for some odd reason. Like they were there and they saw, or they know the guy, or there's some kind of connection there. And I get the drug connection again. Like I don't really think he was like recovering. I think he did what he wanted to do in the dark. And it's just I get him stealing medication and giving it to himself from his job. Like I see him like stealing pills and stealing stuff, and I always get like a syringe. Which I'm wondering now why she's bringing that up if the girls were drugged. I'm curious if they found any syringe marks. Because the syringes come in before, but I feel like, and I'm wondering if this is how they were controlled. And if anything was in their system. Because he would have a way to get those drugs. And to get get something to sedate them. And maybe that's why there wasn't much of a fight. I am getting that feeling that he did something like that. Because I also think he gave himself it, but he had it. And that's the first time I've ever gotten that before. So I'd be curious about that. Like if anything was in their system for that. Another thing he shows me, I just wonder about this tying up thing, but it's almost like I see him making the girls, like making one of the girls, I think it's Libby, making him tie Abby up. That comes in as well. That's the first time I've ever gotten that too. So that's kind of interesting. This guy's dark, you guys. He's like really, really bad. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do this, either wanted to or did or planned to. There's an energy there of like he's so brutal. There's such a brutality to this. I don't understand. I don't understand Ron Logan's connection. I keep getting a connection to him. Again, it could be because they were found on the property, but again, it's kind of weird. I don't really know. I'm curious if they knew each other. Because I feel like this guy knows people, but people don't know that he knows them or something. This guy feels... I don't know how to explain it. Like, unless he's just thinking in his own mind that he's important, or he's thinking in his own mind that he's... I lost her picture. Hold on. Oh, I'm getting a really bad headache with this though. But it's weird. I've never seen that before. Like having like Livy tie up Abby. That's kind of weird. It's really weird. I don't know why I'm shown a blood moon. I don't know what that means. I've gotten that, I think, before. I get a heart with like a crack down the middle. Like maybe, there's a broken heart somewhere. And I wonder, I get another link to Cody Patty, so I don't know if he knew him or what. Like, it's weird. Like, I still get family links, but I don't really know why I'm getting that. Seriously, I don't. And it's not that I'm not saying the family is involved in any way, because I've never gotten that, but I feel like there's somebody that, like, that's how they kind of found the girls. It's really weird. And I've gotten him before. Like, I've got him a lot. But it's weird. I get the word lurking, and I feel like he lurked. And I feel like he's gonna go down for this. She always told me justice would be served, and I don't know if that's the whole story. Like everybody that's connected to this I feel like there's gonna be more arrests though, but it's gonna be for stuff connected to this. Like I said, like a ring of some sort. Like, because I get that web. I get like, she shows me like the spider web, and she's always said it was a web, and there's like a lot of moving parts and a lot of connections in that way. And I think people are going to be surprised. Like, it's going to be big, like connections to possibly people that are important. I hear clergy members. I've gotten that a lot, and I don't really know why. She keeps going back. I hope I'm understanding, because when things repeat, they're either important or I'm not perceiving it right, or they just want to make it like the whole thing with the like her having to tie Abby's hands. Like, I'm wondering, and the like the syringe and the drugs like keep coming up, but I feel like I kind of feel like maybe it was done to me, and that's maybe now how he controlled them. But it's weird. I feel like there's a waiting period for some odd reason. And like, it's like, you know, they went missing during the day, but I get this happen more like evening, night. And I don't know if like they checked this area and like they weren't there, because I really don't know the details around it. Because he didn't want to be seen, right? So it's like I feel like I'm taken away and brought back, and I've always felt that. And but I still get like this, like there was a bag that was hidden or something, because it's almost like I see him change clothes, like change his shirt or something, or it's kind of weird. Like, there's stuff stashed before, like, because this was planned. This wasn't like and he tracked their movements. There's a feel of I'm tracking someone. I don't know if any of this is making sense. Like, the brutality of this is not like it's like overkill, you know. It's an overkill thing. I wonder if he's gonna get the death penalty. It's weird, like, they show me someone hooked up to an electric chair, so I don't know if that's, I mean, I don't even know if they do that anymore. It could be symbolic. It's kind of weird that that's coming in. I'm not really sure. There's something, she's hanging, she's showing me his boots again, like there's blood on it, DNA on it, something on the boots. You guys remember things come in puzzle pieces? So that's just the puzzle pieces have to be slid together, which is what the girls always told me. You hear the words, "I miss my sister." So I don't know if they were close. She says her sister has guilt about it. I've gotten this before, but she shows me a diary again. Like, I don't know if she wrote things down in a diary. I don't know if the family even has it or what, but there was stuff written down, like, this is a major, and I've said this before it came out, but this was a major catfish thing. Like, I really feel like Abby or Libby like was really into this guy. But she was talking to several people. Like, it was just several people on one account. It's kind of weird that I keep getting that. She says naive. She says I was naive. I should have known better. Don't understand the dangers of the internet, she said. Those are her words. And I feel again that there's more girls that were talked to in this, which I know that's obvious, but I'm just going to tell you guys what I get. I'll always say it if I get it. This is going to be surprising if this all comes out. She says this is just the beginning. Why am I getting their jerseys? Wonder if their jerseys were put up somewhere. I don't know if their school or something like that. I see their jerseys. You know how, like, in a glass, you have, they reminded me when people pass away that play sports and they have their jerseys up on a wall in, like, glass. Like, I keep getting that. That's the first time I've ever gotten that too. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know why I hear the word jailhouse snitch and what that has anything to do with it. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Just remember that, guys. I have to say that. I know she was reminding me to say that because I don't know. Hey. KK might connect to all these people like I'm talking about, like the Kokomo boys and all that. Like, it feels like there's a link from him, and all of that. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I hear the words Delphi corrupt. That doesn't mean everybody, okay? That could just mean some people. I get this number lot 17. It's coming in again. It's repeating, so I'm just going to say it. Stuff repeats until I say it. It won't shut off. I don't know if that's the 17th of a month or really what the connection is. But it would make kind of sense because of the interconnect with Kylie that I had. I'm getting the name Leslie, which is like super weird. Just hang on to it. Okay, so I'm trying to get more. Sorry about my dogs, guys. No, it's okay. Kind of weird. She shows me a white rabbit. I'm not really sure what that's about or what it symbolizes. No idea. No idea. Trying to see, guys, because the information kind of just slowed down for some reason. The web can be symbolic for, like, the internet's called the web. That kind of just came to mind as well. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't know if anymore. It's not really coming across that, like, a whole, like, they were, like, a whole bunch of people was involved in the them getting their lives being taken itself, but it feels like it, like, that profile and stuff, like, does connect to bigger things. Like, this does connect to bigger things. Like, that's how it comes across. And but again, I keep seeing that, like, dark-haired person. It's kind of weird. And this guy, I feel like he's gonna try to say, like, people, like, voices told him to do it. He might have some mental illness because I've always gotten that. Like, it's almost like I hear, like, voice is telling him to do things, so schizophrenic, or he just might want to say that. But that kind of comes in. I always get like this kind of multiple personality feeling. Not that he necessarily has that, but it's just like different. Like he can be different people. I really. That white truck always comes in, so I don't know if he had a white truck that was working at the time that he drove over there, because I don't feel like he drove the. I feel like it's a different vehicle that was driven or something. I keep getting Kagan, like he's a direct link to all this, but I feel like because they have him, like more is gonna come out because of that. I don't know. Like it's gonna shed light on a lot of stuff. That's the way it comes in anyways. I'm trying to get more. There's not much else coming in, honestly. I don't know what else more they could say. Something about the weapon, she's saying, like murder weapon, like I don't know if they found it or if there was just one or multiple or exactly how that fits. I don't know why she's bringing that up. Kind of weird. I'm not really sure. I think that's all I'm getting, honestly. I don't think I'm getting anything else. This feels like a demonic feel to this, or dark, or I've always felt that, but it's like just the way things are done. Like I feel like there's a message in all of it. And again, I've gotten this before, like something engraved into a tree. Like I get that too. Again, like things will repeat if they're important, and I've gotten that a lot. So I don't know if it's her initials or someone else's initials or really what that's about. I'm not really sure. I think that's it, guys. Honestly, I'm not getting anything else. The information kind of just stopped.